NBS Live at 9.
A very good evening and welcome to Live at 9 tonight. Let's start with the lotto numbers for tonight. I'll take you through those numbers. We'll be looking at them shortly. Let's take a look at the lotto numbers for tonight. 04, 05, 26, 29, 32, 46 and 03. I'll go through that again. 04, 05, 26, 29, 32, 46 and 03. Those are the lotto numbers for tonight. Now let's get into the headlines. In the news tonight, Chitezi landfill collapses, schools dead as mountain of trash sweeps many into nearby community, leaving several houses covered underground. Could its molds have become heavier? 3 killed in head-on collision along the Masakambara highway. Victims burnt beyond recognition as police cautions against overspeeding. Just how can police break the habit? Acholi parliamentary group troubles far from over. Constant fights see group caretaker role handed to Norbert Mao. But why hand a parliamentary group leadership to a minister who is not an MP? My legacy will carry me through. Minister Dr. Cheng welcomes her gender counterpart Among in the race for Lira City Woman MP seat. Why are the two powerful ministers from Lango choosing to go heads-on? Uganda National Teachers Union speaks out on why teachers are abandoning the profession. But will the recruitment of more teachers by the government stop the teachers' exodus?
This is NBS Live at 9 with Sheila Dusime.
Once again, a warm welcome to Live at 9 tonight. My name is Sheila Tsime, joined by Michael Jogwe for sign language interpretation. To start us off, scores of people are feared dead after part of a garbage hill at Chitezi landfill slid off, covering several houses. The landfill collapse is said to have started at about 7:30 in the morning, covering a distance estimated at about a kilometer and more. By press time, 8 people, including adults and children, had been confirmed dead.
Witnesses recount that about 7 a.m. an unusual sound was heard, prompting them to move out of their houses, only to find the running heap of garbage. This prompted them to run to save their lives.
I was around, I was here at home. Then I heard a strange sound. Going outside, I saw, how is it called? The garbage. We call it here Sogeya. Yeah, it was running.
Because people are so many who are buried down. So our cry is we want graders, we want scavengers to come and help. Let anyone who can help us give us the graders, please do.
Those who couldn't run for their lives were covered by the heap and are now at the mercy of rescue teams. Residents report that nearly 100 houses were covered.
Some
parents report that they had left their children asleep to go for work. Some say they had families of 4, 8 and more people. Chitezi landfill has been dumping site for an estimated 30 years for both Kampala and Wakiso districts. Local leaders criticized KCCA for poor planning and management. They say Chitezi had filled to capacity and thus needed measures that would prevent any danger that could come as a result of associated activities.
Garbage management and disposal must be concentrated on by KCCA. The planning team of KCCA must start now.
I think really we have to be a little bit more and more concerned and careful. Such things should not really happen again, where we are likely to lose over 50 people here.
And even we also need support for those who need medication and those who have been displaced. Because some of our people, their houses have been destroyed. We need emergency shelter measures.
Excavators continue to dig up the pile, although hope for finding some people alive continues to deteriorate with each minute that passes.
The State Minister for Disaster, Lilian Abel, has pledged government's support towards affected people, revealing that their plans to relocate the survivors. The minister was among the first government officials to arrive in Chitezi, where garbage heaps slid, killing scores.
Our speed is what I want us to, in Boston. I am happy that the police is on ground, the army is on ground, KC has brought more machines on ground, Ministry of Work has brought more excavators, less work. But the people, the community who are surrounding here should also give space for people to work. Because if we rescue someone and we need to give them attention, you've gathered here, this is not the time for politics. Leaders who are saying, let's go, we know where people are, no, we cannot, Lillian cannot do anything to pick this up, but we need to give space for these people to work. Then, after, we are going to look at how to, temporarily accommodate those who are affected. We are providing them tents, and then we give them food. My office is sending food on ground. Then we can now discuss on way forward. What do we do? So I'm calling upon these locals to leave. Let's evacuate this area temporarily. We can settle in the tents that we are providing as government as we forge a way forward. So that is the discussion we are looking at, but the number one priority is rescuing people.
Now, the landfill, which processes about 1,500 tons of waste daily, lost its structural integrity following heavy rains on Friday night, leading to partial collapse. The Deputy Executive Director, KCA, Engineer David Luyimbazi, has revealed the authority has spent about 10 years looking for 60 billion shillings to establish a new dumping site in Mukono after establishing that Kitezi had filled beyond capacity. Engineer Luyimbazi says the affected part had been closed to dumping, although many pickers continued to flock it, which may have caused pressure on the pile.
When it rained, and with waste pickers operating on top of the mountain, the West Mountain, it created weaknesses, which resulted in a landslide. So we're not here to blame anyone. An accident has happened. We're trying to see that we make sure that everyone is rescued. Our priority now is to rescue as many people as we can. Waste pickers who may have caused the accident are part of the victims. The communities, the people who are developed near the landfill also are victims. So right now priority is to rescue as many people as possible. Then after that we shall see how to evict people from the zone where the risk is. The challenge has always been resources. Everything where we fail to move as planned, it's not because we desire not to do it. If we don't have enough resources, we shall not do it. We need about 50 to 60 billion to decommission Chitezi landfill. However, we've not been, the cause of the accident is not because of our operations in Chitezi. It's the activities of waste pickers who operate at night with various equipment which we don't know, and they've weakened the slopes of the mountain, the West Mountain, which resulted into the landslide.
Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango has confirmed the death of 6 people, including women and children, following the tragedy in Chitezi, where a heap of garbage moved, covering several houses. With the search for more bodies going on, Onyango says the relatives of the deceased will be able to receive their remains once the post-mortem is done.
Received information at around 6:30 about a rubbish or landslide in Chitezi, and immediately the first team was sent, and when the first team reached here at the site, they couldn't do much. They had to communicate to the highest authority that they need earth moving equipment that can be used to try and retrieve dead bodies that were trapped. And indeed, earth moving equipment were dispatched, and so far we have retrieved the 6 dead bodies. We shall stay here until we see that all the dead bodies are retrieved. In case, and if there is anybody who is still alive, we see that we rescue that person.
Now, following today's incident in Chitezi, it is clear that a solution needs to be found. And joining us tonight is the Kampala Capital City Authority Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago to discuss this matter further. Lord Mayor, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Would like to know, from the reports you received so far, what is the extent of the damage?
It's difficult now to establish the extent of the damage, but preliminary reports indicates we have lost so many people. I'm surprised the police is putting the toll to only 6. It's more than that. Personally, I was on ground. There are so many bodies that were recovered, and some could even be just carried away by relatives without going through the police hands. And also the humanitarian crisis occasion, because so many people are homeless. It's the reason we had to come up with measures to ensure that at least we create some temporary shelter for them in a nearby playground at a church which is within the vicinity, where Red Cross is going to provide the relief items, as well as the Minister for Disaster Preparedness, the commitment they made, and KCCA, of course, because we have to provide water, we have to provide the sanitation facilities, we have to provide the food, and of course beddings.
Over there has talked about finding an alternative solution. That means that as leaders, you were aware of the problem. So why has it taken this long, to the extent of losing lives, for government or KCCA to find a solution?
Well, in a situation like this, where you have got a disaster of this magnitude, oftentimes it wouldn't sound good for one to say, yes, didn't I tell you? In my language, we say sabagamba, but of course it's inevitable under the circumstances. We have sounded ourselves hoarse on this matter, raising a red flag, and the early warning signs were just on the wall of everyone to understand that it was just a catastrophe in waiting. It was a disaster in waiting, and it's a national embarrassment, a national shame that we allowed mountains of garbage to pile up within the heart of the city in the 21st century, when we are talking about transiting into a circular economy, into a green economy, and that can happen in this century. It's a national shame, it's a national tragedy. We, as the leadership of KCCA, presented on table a policy, a very comprehensive and good policy, which is about waste to energy, so that we have this garbage recycled. You know, Chitez has been in existence since 2001. It ought to have been decommissioned way back in 2015, and since then the mountains of garbage have been piling up, and we said, please, we have all these grandiose plans. We have been approached by many different development partners who are willing to put in their money so that we can recycle this garbage. 80% of this garbage is organic, and it's capable of generating 60 megawatts. From the feasibility study conducted, we can generate 60 megawatts of electricity from this organic garbage we are generating in the city, which ranges between 2,000 and 2,500 tons of a day. And this is the offer they were making, that you see 60 megawatts we can sell to you and put it on the national grid at just 80 to 10 cents. Oh, we found that quite reasonable. Unfortunately, General Museveni insisted on his position, irrational though, that the cap, the ceiling, should be 5 cents per megawatt for us to access the national grid. And Electricity Regulatory Authority, Uganda Electricity Distribution Companies, all these institutions within that chain of distribution, generation and distribution of electricity, we have engaged them. They are saying, please, you wait until Mr. Museveni changes his position.
Lord Mayor, before we let you go, there was conversation about a treatment plant in the same area. How far has that conversation gone?
You see, it's not possible to have a treatment plant within that area. This Chitez, we have told you, it was 36 acres. It is full up to capacity. There is no way you can eat up the garbage which has been piling up for the last how many decades? Since 2015, when it ought to have been decommissioned. We had to buy an extension of only 4 acres, and it has also been encroached on. So we opted for relocating it to Dundu, which is in Mukono district, and we bought, in 2015, we bought 135 acres of land, and we were supposed to develop it into a state-of-the-art recycling plant. Because right now, it's a national shame. We do not have a national landfill. What we have, Chitez actually, has been a dump site, and it has always been a misnomer. Even you, Shira, and all of you in the media, you have been calling it a landfill. Chitez has never been a landfill. Chitez has always been a dump site with a leachate treatment plant which is moribund, which is non-functional. Even the way bridge is obsolete. All the facilities that were put there, it has just been dumping there. So we wanted to have a state-of-the-art recycling plant at Chitezi. That was the position, and we needed 190 billion Uganda shillings. Mr. Museveni can give money to Pineti, can give money to Rocco, 300 billion, just 190 billion to construct a recycling plant, and we get ripple effects. We generate electricity, we get byproducts from the garbage, and we get rid of these mountains of garbage. So you create this eyesore and a catastrophe out of recklessness. It's an absurdity.
Thank you very much, Lord Mayor, for sparing time for us. Now, moving away from that, the once vibrant parliamentary group, the Acholi Parliamentary Group, appears to have gone in limbo with the leadership reduced to the constant power struggles within the members of parliament in the sub-region. The final nail in the coffin came in February 2024 when a faction led by Amos Okot and Gilbert Olanya held elections ousting Anthony Akol as their chairperson, which led to the formation of two conflicting groups. In April, the Acholi elders sat and dissolved the Acholi Parliamentary Group, appointing Minister Norbert Mao and former leader of opposition Betty Ewol Ochan as caretakers. 4 months later, the group is almost unheard of.
Who is about to join my party?
In the eyes of many people, the Acholi Parliamentary Group is dead and buried. Even the immediate past chairperson Anthony Akol seems to have moved on after joining forces to form another complex group known as West Nile. Acholi, Lango and Karamoja, simply called WALK, to encompass the Greater North.
But unfortunately, the people who are appointed to resolve the problems have never done the work they should do.
Having served for only one term, Akol is being blamed for failing to steer the Acholi Parliamentary Group in the right direction. The surge in land-grabbing cases, the Balalo-related tension in the region, and the internal conflicts within the APG were at the heart of the demise of the once renowned regional power broker.
We ask Honorable Akol to stand aside because he was not leading us so well.
We have seen so many people lost their life in APA and they still continue losing life. Up to now, we have not seen a concrete government position on how best they can respond to the issue in APA. Him being the chairperson, actually parliamentary group, would have pushed the more agenda and Namafas among other issues in actually sub-region.
The final nail in the coffin of the APG came in February 2024 when a faction led by Amos Okot and Gilbert Olanya held elections and ousted Anthony Akol as their chairperson. This led to the formation of two conflicting groups.
They are trying to impose and force that let Akol Anthony be the chair for APG, whereby he has done nothing completely for Acholi Parliamentary Group, and we don't want him.
In April 2024, the Acholi elders sat and dissolved the Acholi Parliamentary Group with the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, and the former leader of opposition, Betty Ewol Ochan, appointed as caretakers. But 4 months later, nothing has been achieved in resurrecting the region's once most recognizable power broker.
Let us have one person to lead us as a chair. But the chair should work with a team, not the chair alone, the way work was being done in the 2.5 or 3 years.
They should not wait until it is too long. Otherwise, it is my considered opinion that APG gets back to its one fold.
Acholi sub-region has 8 districts and 1 city, and the problems affecting its people are the same except for cattle rustling in the East Acholi districts of Agago and Kitgum.
As we still have the confusion here, we don't need to sit down and wait. We need to handle issues that affects the community of northern Uganda, which is contributing heavily in terms of poverty in Uganda.
There has been a question of interests, individuals and institutions. The individuals actually feel that they are much bigger than the institution of the Acholi Parliamentary Group, and that in a sense has meant their egos, has not allowed them to be able to unite. Let us now begin to refocus and look at other forms of public authority probably to try and unite for us the members of parliament that we have.
Now, still speaking about the infights within the Acholi parliamentary group, we are joined by former Aswa Member of Parliament Regan Okumu from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, I'd like to know what explains the bickering within this particular group.
I think it's very shameful. It is basically, lack of direction. Because if I compare their time with the time we were in Parliament, I was also chairperson of Acholi parliamentary group for a long time. We united among ourselves. It was a very difficult time at that those days, but we went above parties. We stood strong. We were very few. We were only 11 members of Parliament, with a huge problem of restoring peace and stability in northern Uganda. And at that time, the regime was extremely against us in northern Uganda, to the extent that the president actually told the Acholi people he needed not to get their votes to be elected president, which is contrary to current situation where things have changed. The president is yearning for votes from the Acholi region. He's very desperate. Even if you invite him in Acholi to open up a toilet, he will definitely go. So it is a big problem that our leadership are not exploiting the current scenario. The shadow president is based in Gulu, General Salim Saleh, who can address most of these problems. It only requires the unity of the parliamentary group and a focus towards the problems we have. They are basic problems that the Acholi people are dying out of. And there's no structural leadership other than the Acholi parliamentary group that can command the interests of the Acholi people collectively. They have failed to move throughout the Acholi region to visit places, unlike the previous Acholi parliamentary group, who move irrespective of their different political things to all the region. And, they have failed to stand united on common Acholi issues that affect us. The major problem at the time we were in Parliament, I remember Honorable Windolo, who was a minister at that time, was the chairman of Acholi parliamentary group, threatened to resign if government was not willing to compromise on getting an investigation over the war in northern Uganda. And you can see, I remember Honorable Jane Akwaru Duong wept in Parliament and told NRM MPs that she is ready to walk away from the movement if they were not caring for the feelings of the people where she represented. So there was total unity, irrespective of whether one was opposition or what on the issues of Acholi. Today, it's the opposite, and it's very sad, and it's saddening, because...
Just interject there. You spoke of the people. We want to know, what does the dissolution of the Acholi parliamentary group mean to the region?
First of all, I think that dissolution has no effect because it has not gotten any remedy. Because you cannot dissolve yourself, because part of the people who are appointed are members of the Acholi parliamentary group. They should weigh themselves above and be able to resolve this problem, because both Honorable Norbert Mao and Honorable Beta Ochan are members of the Acholi parliamentary group. And they should have had an internal mechanism to resolve these issues above any other interest. But today, the major challenge that faces Acholi, that requires the unity of the entire Acholi people, is the question of the Balalo, is the question of Apa, is the question of Karamajong. Fortunately, who is desperate in getting political support from the North, has alluded to most of these problems. He has issued presidential directives that the MPs are merely supposed to follow the implementations. For example, the Balalo issue. The president came up with some presidential directives, 1, 2, 3. Nobody has followed it. It is just left. So it has just been a window dressing by the president to postpone the problem. There are issues. So many commissions have been put in place. Where are they? The president has put those commissions. One was led by the late Olanya. Then later on, a new commission by Justice Katorebe was put in place more than a year ago. It's not working. These are internal things that if there was unity among the actual parliamentary group.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. We'll continue to follow that story for you and hope for the best. Now, moving away from that, more than 20 heads of state are confirmed to attend the inauguration of Rwandan President Paul Kagame at the newly refurbished Amahoro Stadium on Sunday. Kanare Mugume is on standby. Kanare, please give us an update from that side. Kanare?
That's the newly refurbished Amahoro Stadium, and what you see is security has been heightened around all roads leading to Amahoro Stadium, and we can confirm that a number of roads have been blocked to ensure the free and smooth movement of the delegates that will be attending the inauguration of President Paul Kagame. What we also can confirm is that the Vice President Jessica Alupo will be representing President Yoweri Museveni. We have it on good authority that the Vice President Jessica Alupo did come into the country through the Gatuna border, and she'll be arriving in Kigali, the capital, in just a couple of minutes to come. I also can confirm that in the afternoon, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is the Chief of Defense Forces of the UPDF, did arrive here in the afternoon in the company of General Mujira, also Brigadier General Karemire, who were welcomed by the Chief of Defense Staff of the Rwandan Defense Forces, that is General Mubarak Muganga, and they were taken to a lounge after the airport and later led to where they were supposed to head to. We can also confirm that about 45,000 people will be hosted at Amahoro Stadium, just right behind me. It's been an open invitation to whoever wants to come and attend. We also have information that a number of heads of state have already jetted into the country. We're talking about the President of Zimbabwe, that is Emmerson Mnangagwa, the Prime Minister of Senegal, that is Prime Minister Sonko. We also understand that the President of Guinea-Bissau, that is Sisoko, has also already jetted into the country. In a couple of hours, President Ruto of Kenya will be headed to Kigali right from Nairobi, where he'll also be expected to attend the inauguration of President Paul Kagame tomorrow. And also the President of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, has also jetted into the country. We do expect a fanfare, a big party for whoever will be attending the function tomorrow. This is going to be one of its kind. But inside Kigali, it's been a lot of traffic holdups here and there because of the different heads of state have been traveling from the airport, and we do expect a lot more to arrive in a couple of hours to come, but also very early in the morning tomorrow. Back to Sheila at the command center.
Thank you very much, Kanare Mugume. He will continue to update us and we will follow those updates. Now let's take a look at the top stories for tonight.
Top stories brought to you by
Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
And
Lifestyle is the premium stone-coated roof tile from Uganda Bati.
Now in our top stories for tonight, scores dead as a mountain of trash sweeps many into Kitezi, leaving several houses covered underground. We also looked at 3 killed in head-on collision along the Masaka-Mbara highway, and Dr. Acheng welcomes her gender counterpart Among in the race for the Lira City Woman MPC. Those are top stories for tonight, and they take us into a short break. We'll be back with more stories.
Transact every day. Win cash when you send. Buy data and you're winning. Transact every day. Win cash when you send. Buy data and you're winning. Transact every day. Win cash when you send. Buy data and you're winning.
Formula
Amaja with Airtel Money. Transact using Airtel Money and stand a chance to win a brand new Toyota RAV4 hybrid car, Boda bonus, money, and many more other prizes. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless. Airtel Money is regulated by the Bank of Uganda.
From the refreshing blue of the sky above and down below, we see it on the walls in front of us, on the cars that drive past, and yes, the birds and the beasts. It makes things beautiful. Color is life.
With a wide range of color, Global Paints range makes the difference on walls. We have Global Silk Vinyl for interior, Global Weathercoat for exterior, and Global Matte for ceilings. Get it from a hardware store near you. Global Paint, a reliable product.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Stake 10. Sports Stake 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
What MPs do not do. MPs do not construct or repair roads, bridges, hospitals, or schools in their constituencies. They also do not have to contribute to weddings, funerals, or pay school fees. MPs, as your elected officials, exist only to represent you in the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. Your Member of Parliament is your representative. Make your voice heard. This message is brought to you by the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda.
Kanzali plus Mchuzi, you get the perfect pot of flavor and taste with the superior ingredients of the new Royco 2-in-1 mix. Enjoy the Kathufu mix.
Start your adventure, marathon run, time to seize the day. Kampala to Kasese, marathon run across the equator. You will cross the finish line, marathon run. Turn on your light, turn on your light, turn on your light at the Tuscalite Mount Renzori Marathon in Kasese on 24th August. Tuscalite. Turn on your light. Excessive consumption of alcohol is harmful to your health. Strictly not for sale to persons under 18 years of age. Please enjoy responsibly.
Welcome back. In more stories, the Ministry of Education is set to recruit 6,000 additional secondary school teachers for Seed School nationwide beginning this financial year. According to Dennis Mujimba, the ministry's spokesperson, both science and art teachers will be recruited to teach compulsory subjects and common elective courses that students typically choose after Senior 2 at O level.
To recruiting the 6,000 Seed School teachers, the government also plans to establish 170 new schools under the second phase of the Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfer Program, with 31 teachers to be deployed in each school based on the compulsory subjects in the lower secondary curriculum.
They are also in sub-counties that do not have a public secondary school. So we have two mechanisms of achieving the secondary school per sub-county. We can build a completely new school.
Dennis Mujimba, the Ministry of Education spokesperson, further stated that about 2,075 teachers will be recruited in the current financial year, with more to follow in subsequent years. He emphasized that volunteering is not a qualification for employment and assured zero tolerance for corruption during the recruitment process.
For the schools that will be ready under UGIFT Phase 2, we are looking at 83 schools to be ready by end of this financial year. So those ones, we are going to recruit the 25 teachers per school.
However, with the current overwhelming student-teacher ratio at all levels of education in Uganda, the Uganda National Teachers Union General Secretary Philbert Baguma believes that the recruitment of 6,000 teachers is still insufficient.
So if they talk of recruiting 6,000 more teachers, yes, that is good. But now the question is whether it is going to address the gap.
Philbert Baguma adds that the education sector is currently unattractive, with more teachers absconding from duty. Speaking to early retirement of teachers and absenteeism, Dennis Mujimba notes that is a discipline issue and a form of corruption. He asked teachers to be patient, noting that salary enhancement will be done in a phased manner.
When you begin absconding because pay is not adequate, then it is better you clearly say you're not accepting this pay, you step aside, as opposed to being corrupt, because it's a form of corruption. Teacher absenteeism is a form of corruption.
Now, science teachers and deputy head teachers across the country are in a standoff with government over the failure to implement a promised enhancement of 16 billion shillings as the president's directive in the last financial year. These funds were meant to boost the salaries of science teachers and deputy head teachers, but this allocation is reflected in the current budget. As a result, many deputy head teachers have declined to take up their roles, raising concerns over potential disruptions in the education sector. Joining us tonight is Vincent Elong, the chairperson, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. Vincent, thank you very much for joining us. Would like to know, Vincent, can you provide us with more details on the President's directive for the 16.8 billion enhancement, and why is it crucial for science teachers and deputy head teachers?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. We recall very well that government came up with the plan, a grand plan to enhance salary for all civil servants, but in a phased manner due to shortage of resources. And the first priority was given to scientists. In 2022, we saw a group of scientists which included science teachers. And as a union, we raised a red flag, because we saw an incident where science teachers was going to be left out. But still, even as government was implementing, during the time when the budget was read and the salary structure came out, we discovered that science teachers who are administrators, the senior ones, especially the deputies and the head teachers, were left out of the enhancement, which was unfair, because we saw other sister institutions like PTC, NTC, all their head of institutions had their salary enhanced. So in 2022, we wrote a letter to the Minister of Education, and a meeting was convened, and we were able to illustrate to them that there was a crisis, because around that time we had the science teachers whom their salary were already increased from 1 million to 4 million, promoted as deputies, and their salary was reduced back because of promotion. For us, we saw that it was already a crisis, because you cannot promote somebody and reduce their salary. So when we explained to Minister of Education and Sport, the PS picked it up, and a memo was drafted to go to cabinet, of which our minister Honorable Minister and First Lady took it up and briefed the President in a cabinet meeting, and a directive was issued last year in July as the new financial year was commencing. As we followed up with the correspondence, we wrote to Public Service, because this directive was written to the Minister of Public Service. They told us that they are working on it. They had already made an addendum structure, which was supposed to come in the last financial year. So we kept on following. In January, we wrote a letter as a union requesting for update, but also for a meeting. And that letter was not honored by Minister of Public Service. But informally...
Let me interject there. So how is the failure of allocation of these funds affecting the schools?
First of all, there is a big crisis because we have morale of these senior teachers decline every single day. But also I have already demonstrated that there are teachers who have been promoted. They are already earning 4 million. But in their current appointment is indicating that their salary is going to drop from 4 million to 1.6 million gross. That even when you tax it and remove the deduction, it comes to 1.2. And from last year and this year, these teachers are declining to take up this appointment. But also we have a bunch of head teachers and deputies who are requesting that if possible, they should be demoted so that they get back to teach. So this is already a crisis, and that impact is going to be long overdue. And also it is putting a barrier that will hinder the scientists from taking up the administrative role. Yet we need these scientists if we are to promote science and technology. So that is why as a union we have raised a red flag. We have given government an ultimatum up to the opening of the new term on 16th September. If there is no clear roadmap which will lead us to this enhancement, then we are going back in the trenches. The teachers are going back to strike.
Thank you very much, Vincent, for joining us tonight. We'll continue to follow that particular story for you. Now, on a sad note, 3 people have been confirmed dead in a head-on collision along the Masaka-Mbara Highway in Masaka City. The collision involved 2 cars that caught fire, leaving the victims burnt beyond recognition. According to eyewitnesses, the Mark X, which was carrying 3 occupants, collided with a Fuso truck near Masaka, resulting in a devastating fire that consumed the smaller vehicle. The victims have since been identified as Chitio Colin, age 21, Vincent and Engineer Musime, age 27. All the 3 were residents of Sembabule. Eyewitnesses reported that the deceased had attended a cultural ceremony in Matete, Sembabule last night. The 3 occupants of the Fuso truck that included Chizito Mahadi, Chizito Sadi and Chizito Wahab were rushed at Masaka Regional Referral Hospital in critical condition. Police have attributed the accident to reckless driving.
Yesterday, fatal accident at Chabogo in Chingo, that is along Masaka-Mbara Highway, whereby 2 motor vehicles knocked each other and they got fire and they got burned. 3 people died on the spot, those ones who are moving from Mark X, and the 3 people were rushed to the hospital for treatment, and those are the ones who are moving in a Fuso. The number plates for the Mark X was UBP 460P, Mark X white in color, and that one of a Fuso, it was UBA 414P white in color. This Fuso was moving from the side of Masaka heading to Mbarara, and the Mark X was moving from the side of Mbarara heading to Masaka. The possible cause of accident was reckless, whereby it is observed that Mark X was in a terrible speed and they failed to control it, ending up moving from their lane to the lane of the Fuso.
Moving on, in recent years, there has been heightened efforts to equip the youth with intense skills and enable them to overcome several obstacles such as limited job opportunities and mismatches between skills and job requirements. Now, we speak to Brenda Choncho, one of the national youth leaders, to shed light on the pressing issues that the youth are still facing today. Brenda, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'd like to know, based on the accountability that the government gave last year in regard to what they had done for the youth and what they committed to do, what has changed as of today?
Thank you, Shira. The government of Uganda committed to give you 30% of the parish development model, and government has achieved that. Also, Emyoga, 30 million has been given to each youth groups in Emyoga, and many youth are using it to develop themselves. And also, the government promised to put more money, more funds to the presidential skilling hubs, and I've seen all over the country the 18 skilling hubs have been funded, and each day, each out, we have seen many young people being passed out in these industrial hubs with skills acquired.
What in your view needs to be done to provide all the youth with the opportunity for their voices to be heard, but also their issues to be addressed?
Sure, the National Youth Council, we are trying hard to address issues of the youth. We have structures across the country. We use these chairpersons in all the 146 districts to get the ideas from the village to the district level, and we bring them at the national level. We discuss them with our youth MPs and our youth minister, Mr. Balugahara, who is the current youth minister. So youth issues have been discussed from the district, from the village level to district level through our structures of the youth.
About the youth was about skilling these youth. How far have you gone with the programs, and have those programs opened doors for the youth?
Yes, the skilling programs have opened doors, entrepreneurship doors, because the things we are using now that are in the market in Uganda are from these skilling hubs. For example, we see last quarter, over 10,000 youth were passed out with different skills in this country, and these skills now, these youth are in public bringing out these skills, and they are the things we are using now in public. So the entrepreneurship skills have come out and they are being used in the country to benefit us, the people, the youth, and other people in the country.
Thank you very much, Brenda, for joining us, and we wish you the best as you plan to celebrate the International Youth Day. Now we look at the numbers that matter for tonight. In numbers that matter tonight, we look at the 2023 World Health Organization report about alcohol consumption in East Africa that ranked Uganda top on the chart. Let's take a look at those numbers. Now, the neighbors, that is Tanzania, ranks second in the region with a per capita consumption of 9.4 liters, while Rwanda stands at 9 liters, followed by 7.5 liters. Kenya ranks lowest at 3.4 liters per capita, and unfortunately, alcohol consumption among those above the age of 15 is 12.5 liters, and among those aged 15 plus years is 25.8 liters. Live at 9 takes another short break. We'll be back with more stories.
If whiskey could talk, Johnny Walker Black Label would sing. With notes that only come with 12 years in a barrel. Sweet, smooth toffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Imagine your favorite team getting more time to play. Or your boss giving you more salary. Now, picture getting more money when you fully pay off a more cash loan.
I've just received 500k.
That's right! With more cash from NCBA Bank and MTN Momo, every payment is a chance for you to win big. From weekly draws of up to 500,000 Ugandan shillings to a grand prize of 5 million shillings. Simply dial *165 *40 hash to repay your loan and win. NCBA Bank. Go for it. NCBA Bank Uganda Limited is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund up to 10 million Uganda shillings. T&Cs apply. Trinity College Nabingo Old Girls Association invites old students and well-wishers of Trikona to a fun-filled fundraising sports gala which will take place at UICT Grounds, Nakawa on Saturday 17th August 2024 starting 8 a.m. Come build with us a lasting legacy for the Trinity Junior School. Get kits at shillings 50,000 including entry or entry only at 30,000. Please contact Sandra on 0787 65 4344. Brought to you by TC Noga and proudly sponsored by
This is for the timeless, the trailblazers, and the trendsetters. Those with a pioneering spirit and an uncompromising lifestyle. This is for those that have called time out on that clay tile roof. Those who are ready to say out with the old, in with the new. Their taste is bold, stylish, and elegant. This is for the dream home, the dream come true, and being true to your lifestyle. And this is Lifestyle, a premium stone-coated roof tile for those bold enough to redefine premium.
Lifestyle is made with world-class technology to resist funky and fading. Lifestyle is available in shingle, Roman, and web profiles.
Lifestyle is the premium stone-coated roof tile from Uganda Bati.
Imagine running a school with no worries about paying teachers' salaries, food supplies, or securing vital assets. With Bank of Africa's School Bridge, asset financing, and project financing, we keep your business afloat by covering your expenses between school fee collection cycles. Visit our nearest branch or call 0800 100 140. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
Buy genuine Decora roofing tiles, the original stone-coated R-Zinc steel roofing systems from New Zealand. Choose from Heritage, Milano, Shingle, Sheik and Classic profiles with a variety of colors and a 50-year warranty. Only available at Depot Uganda. Contact us on 0776 898 888 or 0758 853 285. Depot Uganda. Tried, tested and trusted.
My brother might be blind, but for him, football is not just about what we see, but what we feel.
Me, I have no problem with the house as long as my wife agrees, because it's something that we can work around with. It's something we can work out.
I love this house. Are you going to buy it for me?
Of course. We sorted.
I'm actually willing to sell, but I want only full payment.
Of course, already sorted.
Will we be able to start and finish this project?
Of course, totally sorted.
Whatever your building needs, of course Ori sorted with 100% financing, loan amount up to 3.8 billion, zero management fees, and feedback within 48 hours. Contact us on 0800 250 250.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
can now get all the chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kupei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In more stories, as the 2026 general election draws near, political tension in Lira City is set to heighten, with Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng welcoming the prospect of a fierce contest against Gender Minister Betty Amongi for the Woman MP seat. Dr. Acheng, who is serving her first term as Lira City Woman MP, is confident in her chances of retaining the seat while riding on her achievements and performance as a representative for Lira City. She called for a separation of personal, community, religious and cultural issues from political discourse, urging unity and collective responsibility in the development of the region.
The Constitution allows them to stand wherever they want. They are free to come.
The battle lines have been drawn, and Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng of the ruling National Resistance Movement is ready to face off with her Ministry of Gender counterpart Betty Among of the Uganda People's Congress for the Woman MP seat.
There is nothing that threatens my political career. And all UPC candidates who want to come and stand with me in the city are free to come.
Her remarks follow a declaration by the Minister for Gender, Betty Among, to run for the position of Lira City Woman MP seat in the 2026 election. Dr. Acheng, who is currently riding on her achievement in the health sector and support towards women groups, says she is confident of retaining her seat.
That they need to think deeper, because this city is well protected for Jane Ruth Acheng Ochera.
While competition is welcome, Dr. Acheng warned the upcoming election will not be a repeat of the recent by-election where the Uganda People's Congress made significant gains. Dr. Acheng argues that the general election will come down to individual candidates vying for votes based on their merit and achievements.
Because when it comes to elections, it will be individuals looking for votes by themselves. Those members of parliament will be fighting for their constituencies.
For his part, the National Resistance Movement Administrative Secretary for Lira, Joshua Akejo, said the party is currently strengthening its base after completing a successful countrywide membership registration.
People are coming on board, but you see, when you've been in the game long enough, you know what a threat is and what a Mickey Mouse noise is. These are just shouts from the neighbors' end, which will not threaten us.
Our biggest challenge is that we tend to politicize everything, which is not right. We must separate individual mistakes from politics.
Business Pulse.
In business, small-scale farmers in Karamoja are optimistic about increased production with the introduction of efficient yet low-cost two-wheel tractors. This initiative, spearheaded by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, aims to tackle food insecurity in the sub-region.
Farmers in Karamoja traditionally use handheld hoes and ox plows in agriculture. These are less efficient when compared to tractors. In an effort to boost the productivity of farmers in the region, the Food and Agriculture Organization has procured 55 two-wheeled tractors well suited for smallholder farmers.
We hope mechanization will be able to increase production and also promote value addition and sustainable land management.
To maximize the use of this new equipment, extension workers are receiving training on how to correctly operate and maintain the tractors so that they are on hand to support the farmers.
We are training them on the operation and safe use of the two wheels, single axle tractor. And from here they're supposed to go and train the operators. The people will now be working in the field operating the tractors serving farmers.
With mechanization, regional agriculture officers have expressed optimism about the potential to enhance food security in Karamoja.
There is a drier part of Karamoja and a wetter part of Karamoja, which means that Karamoja can accommodate a thriving agricultural productivity. It has the huge potential to produce almost all crops grown in Uganda.
In 2022, several people in Karamoja succumbed to hunger. The introduction of two-wheeled tractors is seen as a vital step towards increasing food production and preventing such tragedies in the future. As Karamoja's farmers embrace this new technology, the region stands poised for a brighter, more food-secure future.
Sports news brought to you by
Black shines bright. Drink it in.
And in sport, the 2024 Olympics will climax tomorrow in Paris, France. Uganda will have 3 athletes on the final day in the women marathon with hopes of extending the medal tally. Joshua Cheptegei's gold and Peruth Chemtai's silver are the only medals for Uganda so far in Paris.
The State Minister for Sports, Honorable Peter Ogwanga, has urged the Uganda Olympic Committee and the National Council of Sports to start planning for the next Olympic Games. He was speaking to the Ugandan athletes ahead of the 2024 Games climax tomorrow in Paris, France.
I want the Chief Dimisho to get us a report. We sit down and come up with a strategic plan for the Commonwealth and for the next Olympics. I am not going to wait. Again, we go to year 1. No, we must begin planning like others. 4 years, we must assemble what is our comparative advantage in the next 4 years now.
Uganda has 2 medals so far, including Joshua Cheptegei's gold and Peruth Chemtai's silver.
A team of sport, there's always a winner and there's a loser. But also you should know that at every one moment it's God which determines that this time around it is Chemtai. So don't get hurt because you have not got a medal. Never. That should totally get out of your sight first. We all come knowing I'm coming to compete to win a medal.
Uganda will have 3 athletes in the women's marathon on the final day, including Stella Chesang, Maslin Chelengata and Rebecca Cheptegei.
Yeah, the marathon went on well, as all Ugandans witnessed. All of us had a lot of hopes in the boys today, but all did not go well as expected. I want to encourage all our Ugandans to still rally behind the remaining team, the women's team tomorrow. So that we can also have a better result.
Today, world and Commonwealth champion Victor Kiplangat endured a disappointing outing after finishing 37th in the men's marathon. Teammate Ronald Kwemoe was 62nd, while Stephen Kisa did not finish the race. In the women's 10,000 meters, Sarah Chelangat and Anit Chelangat have finished 12th and 21st respectively. The 2024 Paris Olympic Games are broadcast live on NBS Sport. Brian Asimwe, Martin Kadu, NBS Live at 9.
9-4. Now the challenge comes on the outside from Gould.
Sports news brought to you by
Black shines bright. Drink it in.
Nala Instant Noodles, the ultimate convenience. Just boil, season, stir, and enjoy the delicious different flavors. Get your Nala Instant Noodles today for a quick, tasty meal. Available in shops and supermarkets countrywide. For wholesalers and traders, visit Chapa General Enterprises, shop number 3, Chikubo, Kampala, Rafik Building. Nala Instant Noodles, boil, season, stir, and enjoy.
Cheers to something refreshingly different. Putting the brakes on a fast-paced world. Slowing down. Just enough to stand out. Cheers to the beer that does it differently. Brewed longer for extra refreshment. Refreshingly Club. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Forest Mall and Acacia Mall. Sparkle Salon. Inspired by your needs.
Discover Prince Badruka Kungulu Heights. Looking for premium office and residential space, offering over 2,500 square meters of office space across 5 floors, 35 fully furnished apartments, commercial and retail spaces, a functional hall and ample parking. Enjoy a 360 view of Kampala city from Chivuli Hill, just 2 kilometers from the city center. Visit us today or call 0759 759 999. Connect with us at remax.ug or www.remax.ug. Welcome to Penno Events. Discover our versatile multi-flex tent, ideal for any outdoor occasion, and pack and lay out all components, poles, connectors, fabric panels and stakes. Assemble the sturdy framework connecting wind-resistant poles securely. Raise the tent, ensuring it's firmly anchored with stakes for stability. Customize with your rustic wooden setups for weddings, corporate events or festive gatherings. Experience spacious interiors and comfort in any weather. Create unforgettable outdoor moments with Penno Events Multi-Flex Tent. Contact us now and make your vision a reality. Social Spotlight brought to you by
Buy genuine Decora roofing tiles with a variety of colors and a 50-year warranty. Only available at Depot Uganda. Contact.
Welcome back. Before we sign out, we take a look at what our leaders are saying on social media. Let's take a look at the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Annette Among. My sincere sympathies go out to the families that lost their loved ones and property in the tragedy at Chitezi landfill. Parliament will follow up to ensure that necessary humanitarian assistance and long-term interventions are put in place. That is from the Speaker, Lillian Aber. I'm here in Chitezi landfill. My thoughts are with the families affected by this catastrophe. We are committed to working relentlessly alongside emergency response teams to ensure that we move faster and rescue our people. Okay, State Minister for Disaster. And then Nakut Faith Loru, who says it is not the first time that LOP is planning a boycott of parliamentary sittings, not the first time he is demobilizing his team from attending parliamentary business. Gladly, every time they miss, they still follow virtually. Okay, so Gulu sitting 2024 will surely happen. Okay, that is from the social scenes from our leaders live at 9 Camp 2. And from me, it's good night. Catch you tomorrow, same time. Up next is Saturday Night Live.